Another day in the books. I have no idea what it is. You at home would know a lot better than where we're at. But Liam, limited action on the floor.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, we got a wrap last night. Aussie Drinks, Daniel Moldovan put it on for Octagon, and it was a lot of fun. I tell you what, the contingent of Australians, supposedly compared to last year, was through the roof. Everybody came through. A couple of MVPs that we probably can't name just yet. But what was interesting, I think you'll find this interesting, the different levels. Is it excitement the way, or just the attitudes from some of the NBL coaches in attendance? I mean, let's start with the Sydney Kings because they're up and about.
Oh, the Kings were up and about last night, weren't they? They rolled in. Chris Pongras, the new head coach Mahmoud, Fleur was there, and they were all feeling pretty good because Jalen Adams just had been announced a couple of hours earlier. Big Aussie vibes at that thing. It was really cool. Cool to see all the different agents who usually compete against each other there as part of the celebration of Aussie basketball. And as you said, a massive contingent of people at the Summer League. But yeah, you're right. With all the moving and shaking off the court, some in a better mood than others.
Well, speaking of others, it's hard to not read the facial expressions of Monty Mayor. He's a bit up and about with Finn Delaney, but it's not the Monty Mayor we're used to seeing.
Yeah, he's a bit of a roller coaster ride of emotions, isn't he? He's pretty stressed, trying to get the right guys for his roster. But he was a bit calmer today off the back of the Finn Delaney news. I mentioned that to him and he said, I've just resigned to the fact things aren't going my way, apart from Finn Diesel. But he's going to come through with some good signings, and that Breakers roster and team is starting to come together quite nicely.
Some coaches in a club that's been very prominent in Summer League in the past and so far this week weren't in attendance today. They weren't there last night either. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, have they gone home, or where are they up to?
I think Tommy's seeing you do your thing, and he's thinking back to the days gone by, and he's thinking, I can't keep up with Pete Hawley. They weren't in the gym today. My understanding is they were at the hotel room taking meetings. Now, you see the meetings that take place here on the concourse and in the seats, but the ones that happen in the suites are the ones where the best deals get done. So I suspect there was some serious moving and shaking done by the Phoenix guys today.
And lastly, if we're on Coach Watch today, CJ Bruton, we know what's been reported, and I think he's getting closer to a decision, but that man all week has seemed a little stressed. I actually don't think he took off his Adelaide 36ers polo until today. He rocked up last night for the drinks in the polo, and hopefully he gets a bit of a clearer situation, idea of what's coming up soon.
Yeah, and look, Olgun reported earlier in the week the confusion or the process that was playing out with regards to Robert Franks, and maybe that's handcuffed him a little bit as to what he can do. So, we wait to see exactly how that plays out, but hopefully it allows him to, work it out one way or another and move forward from here, and he can get some things done as well.
You know what would help take the pressure off the man? Every other team has a next star except for CJ Bruton, Adelaide 36ers, and Tasmania. Can you get the man a next star?
I'm trying. We're out there. CJ and I are working together, and we're going to try to make that happen. Every team throughout the off-season's been at the next star's table. Hopefully we can get that done for the Sixers.
And a nice table it is. I've noticed that my room in the hotel has significantly lower level than this man's right here. All right, let's talk about the action on the floor. We said not a whole heap to break down, but the one main game, Oklahoma City Thunder, Indiana Pacers. Mojave King, Ousmane Dieng, you had a front row seat to a packed Cox Pavilion.
It was a fun game. And look, from an X-Stars perspective, it was fun to see those guys out there doing their thing. Maybe a bit of a tough one for Mojave King. Never, did some nice things, but never was really able to kind of unleash. Ousmane Dieng on the other side, 11th pick in the draft in 2022. He has looked terrific out there this week. Sat out the last game, but rolled out in a big way today. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. It was the Dieng Chet Holmgren show on that floor today. So that's really, really cool to see him looking confident, looking big and strong. He's so chill out there on the floor. I think he's up for a big NBA season.
Normally we have Olgun for the wraps when we've got a lot of news to break. He said it's a bit quieter today, which we expect. He's expecting some things to drop tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. I've got to bring something up with you because I floated it with him earlier when you were taking your nights off, not nights off, your really nice dinners. The do-up Reith rumour is getting louder and louder for me to be back in NBL 24. This all hinges on whether he gets picked up in the NBA, and I think we can both attest he looks every bit an NBA player. Spoke to Brian Gorgon before, who's here as part of the Knicks staff, sitting next to John Riley, which is hilarious, actually, to watch those two great minds sit on the end of the bench, and normally when they're in the front and thick of it. But this duo breathe, he's impressed with him. I don't know why. I'm not sure if you're hearing it too, but I'm hearing that rumour get louder and louder.
Would be so good to have him back in the league. I mean, he's elite. He was so good for the Hawks, but I feel like his second time round in the NBL, he'd be even better. You know, and we're seeing guys like Jalen Adams, Finn Delaney, the last 24 hours coming back in. Are you getting a sense for whom it might be warming up with?
It's hard to know. I've had a couple of teams thrown around, and then 10 minutes later, that gets shut down. But what I am hearing is it's getting louder and louder, and I think in the next couple of days it might even get clearer depending on how he plays. But I think on behalf of all NBL fans, as much as we'd selfishly love to see him as part of the league, I want him in an NBA jersey as well. So we're going to have some more news tomorrow, but we've got a jam-packed schedule tomorrow as well. I think nearly every team is back in action. Luke Travers and the Cavs are back in action.
Let's go.
The Timberwolves played again today. No Sam Wardenberg. Looking like he's hopefully can put on the sneakers later in the week. Hopefully Olgun has some news for us regarding Brisbane, regarding Cairns. Sydney are up and about. Mahmoud, he's a great person, great coach, and the week is dragging on a little bit, but...
So is your outro?
But is this an outro? I'm not sure what this is. It's another day down, whatever day we're at. Liam's come in with the big guns. We don't know where Olgun is. Will I get a day off? Probably not. We'll see you tomorrow.